Hello tacticians, it's Nox here, and before I go into how my progress has been going with the Shadowsun legendary event, I just want to say a few thank yous. And this time they go to Tiberius, player 4785, J-Boy, Brian is Great, Techless, Wise, Sparky, Jim Reaper, Leopard's Tag, Old Man Hayworth, player 2437, player 7844, Kurosaki, Pierre Quavel, Cyrus, and Duke91. All of you have used my friend code and it is very much appreciated, so thank you. Thank you very much. So if you're interested, this is my full roster that I've been using during the Philosophies of War, and I managed to actually complete the Alpha Battle 12 using the standard turtling technique with Isabella, Burchard, Bellator, Cut and Engrax. The same technique was used for Battle 12 on the beta, but of course on Gamma you can't use Isabella, so this is indeed the hardest track for me to complete. So where will I go from here? Well, next easiest one for me to probably concentrate on is Battle 8 and Battle 9 from the beta missions. If I manage to clear both of those, that will give me nearly the 300 points I require to actually get to the next tier. And even if I do get to that next tier, it still won't get me to the next level of Shadowsun. So I'm pretty much as far as I'm going to get with this legendary event this time around. Maybe next time I'll get Shadowsun up to 5 stars. So why go through all this bother to unlock Shadowsun? Personally, in the tournament arenas, I don't have Celestine, and she does make a very good replacement, purely because of her Exemplar of the Queon, where she will disappear and reappear at a target hex adjacent to an allied unit, and then immediately attack the closest enemy target, dealing blast damage in addition to her normal attack. It will also summon in a command link drone in the space she was previously occupying. Of course, this can't be used in the first round of the battle. Then when you combine that with the Defender of the Greater Good, she does give a buff to ranged attacks if people are standing next to her, or the command link drone. And as an additional bonus, if you're using Tau units, they have an additional chance to do an additional hit with their ranged attacks, depending on how many rounds have gone by. So using her in a Tau-oriented team in the TA is actually not that bad. Also, because of her blast attacks, she is actually quite good to be used against one of the Tyranid Primes in the Screamer Killer Guild Raid boss. One of them has a weakness to blast, which then does additional damage, so she's a fairly good use there too. Of course, there is no campaign for the Tau yet, but as we saw with the Eldari, who were the faction out before the Tau, they did eventually get their campaign, so you could assume that a campaign will be coming for the Tau next. However, this is pure speculation, and who would they possibly fight? The Eldari fought the Thousand Suns. Would the Tau go up against an existing faction, say the Death Guard, or would this be yet another way to introduce the next faction? Only time will tell. So here we are, trying Mission 8 with my Astra Militarum. Now, this is a lot of troops that they bring in. So the first thing that I'm going to do is actually try and bombard them with Thaddeus's active, which worked fairly well. And then I'm going to kill the Tyranid Prime there with Sybil's active. So far for a first go, that was actually very good. And yes, I am going to go on the barbed wire, which isn't the best idea I've ever made, but you've got to do something. So now, yes, I'm on the barbed wire, I can move up and around. Now, the idea is we are going to want to surround these as quickly as possible. So we're going to move up and we're going to park Sybil next to these two to protect them as much as possible. Now, thankfully, Kel has remained alive, which means that Castellan Creed, when he does his summon, will bring in 3 troops instead of 2, because when Kel is in play, Lord Castellan Creed's active summons an additional Cadian Guardsman and has a range of 3 hexes instead of 2. So we're going to do that now. And we're going to move Cut and Yarrick up to get those 2. So now we've just got this open. And there's more troops going to come in next turn. We're not so worried about losing some troops now because we will be using Yarek's active to bring in some more. And we're hoping that the Tyranids will go for the existing troops. Now, you saw Yarek kill one of his own troops there, which is what he now does if anyone flees. But this is not looking great for me. I've got a few more turns yet to go, and I'm only halfway through and I've lost quite a few of my own characters. But let's carry on. Hopefully if I carry on making them flee like this, I may be in with a chance. Oh, there goes Sybil. Now, the reason I was keeping Sybil next to these two, because of her Night Shroud, it was actually protecting them from a certain amount of damage. And I'm trying to get them to flee as much as possible. This is going to be very close. Let's get Thaddeus somewhere a bit safer. And let's see the final wave. Let's see what we can actually do. None fled, which is a big, big shame. Hopefully they'll all now focus on Cut. No, Thaddeus is down, so Cut has got to take care of all these troops on his own, and he's not going to be able to do it. A valiant attempt, but it wasn't to be. If you like the videos that I do, it would be very much appreciated if you do consider using my friend code, as it really does help me out. Or if you or your guild are looking for a new home, please feel free to reach out to any of the guilds shown. As always, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you on the battlefield.